Shehu was the NSIPA coordinator. She was arrested and taken into EFCC custody on Tuesday night following her suspension by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, VOP learned that the 44 billion naira was allegedly suspiciously moved from NSIPA accounts into private and corporate accounts linked to persons serving as fronts. Dele Oyewole, EFCC spokesperson, says, concerning reports on the 44 billion naira and 30 billion naira making the rounds, the commission is still tracing all the suspicious transactions. Her agency was under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs too. There is a lot of money involved because the ministry and agencies are focused on interventions. Hence, we can't put a figure to all of the transactions now because the commission is still tracing the transactions. Before Shehu's appointment, she worked as a national coordinator of the Conditional Cash Transfer Program under former President Muhammadu Buhari. She also served with the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development under Sadiya Umar Farouk, who is investigated for 37 billion naira fraud. Now, this was between 2017 and 2022. Now, here is also another situation with the women we're having in our political space. Now, one would think that women would be different from their male counterparts. Possibly they would try to be accountable, they would be transparent, but we're not hearing the good news. Women given the slight opportunity within our political hemisphere are not representing us best. Now, Betta Edu is also another female minister, this time under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and apparently there have been confirmation of a transfer of substantial 585 million vulnerable grant into a private account. This confirmation came through a statement released by the minister's aide on Friday, January 5. Now, this raised questions about the standard procedures for governmental fund disbursements. Now, what is the essence of this fund? This particular peculiar fund that is meant to be a palliative, something to cushion the effect of the vulnerable dispensation we found ourselves specifically since subsidy removal. Well, the minister elucidated that the 585 billion was earmarked for the implementation of grants aimed at supporting vulnerable groups in 4 Nigerian states: Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Ogun and Lagos. Now, this fund is a crucial step towards addressing the needs of vulnerable groups in these states. Now, you recall there was a time during a press conference where Edu stated that this 585 million will be sent from the Central Bank of Nigeria account to these vulnerable persons. Now, we do know that the vulnerable persons, literally we should say or think that they are unbanked. Maybe just the average Nigerian who is a little bit elite, who can actually have maybe their NIN or their BVN, that some of these monies will be sent to their bank accounts. But we do know when they say vulnerable, we're talking about the poor of the poor, people who don't consider having to open bank accounts. They like to hold their cash. They have personal spaces where they save their money within their homes, or they have thrift collectors, persons who within their neighborhood or their markets that helps them save this money until they actually need it. So this is basically how it goes. So what the federal government does and how these monies are gotten to these people is that they go from ward to ward, right? Each ward has a councillor or through the local government. Now, from ward to ward, where these houses are supposedly registered, and then you have representatives go from house to house to give the money to this very poor of the poor, and the process, they write down their names and their house address, so there is an accountability that so amount of money was given in so areas when it comes to auditing. Unfortunately, that is not what happened. This has been going on since the former dispensation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, in that dispensation is worse. The $800 million that the World Bank actually gave to Nigerians, if you recall, to cushion the effect of subsidy removal, we haven't heard anything about it at all. That money was released, but we haven't heard anything about it. We don't know what that money was used. Nobody has told us who got access to that money. So that is the tragic situation we found ourselves. All right. Now, what is the allegation of misconduct? The move, however, has not been without people criticizing it. Allegations of fund diversion have been rife. Casting a shadow over the transaction, Edu has, in the meantime, vehemently denied these accusations. She described them as baseless and she considered them a blackmail. Now, you do know that a controversy was fueled by a letter which circulated on social media from the minister Edu instructing Oluwatoyin Madeni, the Accountant General of the Federation, to deposit the 585 million naira into a United Bank of Africa account. The account is reportedly held by Onyelu Bridget Mojishola, a name yet to be identified, and this is according to an ICIR report. Now, in her defense, Edu stated, "I hereby approve the payment of the cumulative sum of 585,189,500 naira. These are payments for programs and activities of the Renewed Hope Grant for vulnerable groups." She insisted that the transaction followed due process and rebuffed the public outcry as sponsored attempts to tarnish her reputation. That's quite interesting considering. Okay, now, this incident is coming on the heels of prior allegations against Edu involving a 3 billion naira fraud linked to the National Social Investment Program Agency. Edu denied any involvement in this alleged fraud, emphasizing her non-participation in the withdrawal of 3 billion naira from the NSIPA account. It's actually very interesting if you consider the development and basically her reaction towards the entire ordeal ever since, you know, this whole story became something to talk about. Now, she also turned to God. She actually mentioned God in this instance. She said that it was quite interesting with what is going on and that God is her strength facing this backlash after requesting that the funds meant for these vulnerable Nigerians be sent to her personal account. In a statement on her Facebook page on Saturday, she was confronted, according to her, according to Minister Edu, this is what she said on her Facebook account, that she's been confronted with forces of corruption working against her mission to make a positive impact in the lives of vulnerable Nigerians. She also dismissed the illegal wiring funds into private accounts as baseless and an attempt to undermine the effort she's making to fight corruption and uplift those in need. Now, in the course of our work, according to Minister Edu, we have encountered resistance from forces whose hands may not be clean. But I want to emphasize that her commitment, according to her, is for transparency, accountability, and eradicating corruption remains unwavering, okay? And that the challenges currently being faced strengthens the resolve to serve with integrity and dedication. Now, a lot of Nigerians are actually saying all of this remarks she's making is because she's been exposed. If there was no exposure, there'll be no need to mention God. There'll be no need to apologize. There'll be no need to want to defend by saying she's fighting corruption. How can the corrupt fight corruption? That's what a lot of Nigerian critics have been saying ever since this entire ordeal became obvious. All right. So according to her, she's insisting that she believes in the power of truth prevailing, and with God her strength, she is confident that the collective efforts will continue to make a positive impact in the lives of people. So the leaked memo requesting funds be wired into a private account elicited criticisms, like I told you, with the Accountant General. Meanwhile, Mrs. Madeni, that is the Accountant General, has said that she did not approve that particular wiring of the funds to any private account. All right. The Accountant General explained that although her office received the said request from the ministry, it did not carry out the payment. The ministry, Mrs. Edu's, was, however, advised on the appropriate steps to take in making such payments in line with the established payment procedure. All right. So it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot that have transpired in the course of the entire ordeal with Mrs. Edu. And unfortunately, today I'm going to be the one to actually handle this program. But of course, like I said, most times it's not just me talking. You as well listening to the conversation is basically what we also intend for it to be, whereby we get your response. We get to hear from you on what you think concerning the conversation we're having on the Political Spotlight. My name is Esther Machiku. This is a Political Spotlight on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and I want to tell you welcome again. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for joining us. We're currently streaming live on YouTube. I would implore you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is at VOP 90.3 FM, that is Voice of the People 90.3 FM. That is the YouTube channel for you to be part of the conversation, as well as for you to not just virtually be part of the conversation, but also send your comments. You can also follow me on YouTube at Estiq Media. That is ESTIQMEDIA. ESTIQMEDIA on YouTube. And of course, social media platforms at Esther Mwachuku on Facebook, Esther Nwaz on Instagram, and of course, Estiq Media on YouTube on X. That is ESTIQ on YouTube on X. Quite an interesting one if we consider what exactly we're talking about today. And of course, like I told you, she has broken her silence over the scandal. And apparently, civil society organizations, SERAP is actually asking that there should be a firm stance taken against alleged financial impropriety within the Nigerian government. She's calling on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to initiate a comprehensive investigation. The focus of SERAP's concern is the alleged diversion of 585 million naira by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. And apparently, we do know that the substantial amount is meant for relieving the vulnerable individuals within our society, specifically in 3 or 4, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Lagos, and Ogun states, as 4 of these states. Now, SERAP is urging the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, along with relevant anti-corruption agencies, to promptly and thoroughly investigate the matter. And they're also arguing that the transfer of public funds to private accounts not only creates an appearance of impropriety, but also potentially facilitates wrongdoing or diversion of funds intended for public benefit. And the organization is adamant that anyone suspected of involvement in such improper payments or diversion of public funds must face justice. Also, SERAP is insisting that any diverted public funds should be returned to the public treasury and distributed directly to the rightful beneficiaries. It's quite unfortunate when we hear these things. In some instances, we don't even hear about it. These monies are being used personally. It's quite understandable that after the presidential elections, all those that participated in campaigning for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and who have been given one particular position or the other in office would want to recoup all they had spent in ensuring that they got support and votes. One of the instances is the off-season elections, where we saw monies being put out there to actually buy the conscience and buy the votes of a lot of people in the states where the off-cycle elections took place. So it's understandable when some of these political stalwarts intend to use this opportunity to recoup the funds that they spent during the campaign. But don't you think it's still early? 8 months into the administration already, we're seeing this humongous amount of money being diverted to private accounts. Of what benefit is it? Also, another Honorable Johnson Agbonaima, a federal commissioner at the Code of Conduct Bureau, has unveiled findings from an inquiry into former humanitarian minister Sadiya Umar Farouk, exposing financial mismanagement earmarked for the welfare of Nigerians. I particularly take this particular situation I find it very offensive. We always ask and fight and ask that women should really be engaged in politics. We say that if women are the pillars of the home, right? They build the home, they're the foundation of the home, they're the ones who instill the moral principles and attitude in the children, as well as sustain the cultural, traditional values in the home. That if they use that same attribute when it comes to politics, that we're going to definitely have a well-cultured society, seasonable and referenced. But it's quite unfortunate that these women, 3 of them, we have Salihu Sehu, we have Umar Farouk and Betta Eto, and we're hearing, look at this. And also I recall a former EFCC chairman, Waziri, yes, I think I've forgotten the other name. She was the former EFCC chairman at the time. She was also involved in this kind of imbroglio. So when we fight and ask that women should be adamantly and really infuse themselves in the fabric of our political hemisphere, and then we hear such unfortunate tales about them, it's worrisome. It's disturbing, because you're wondering, what is the essence of fighting if the women themselves cannot sustain what we expect women to sustain in politics? It's quite unfortunate when we consider. And a lot of Nigerians have gone to space and they've gone to X, and they're saying that the stealing just started. They're saying that the stealing just started. The rigging, the illegality, all the process. Others have actually blamed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by saying that he is the cause of what transpired. Some say that due to the fact that he said he was going to take over the reign of leadership by force, and this is my turn, and he used every other means to come on board. It is expected for Nigerians to see this kind of appalling attitude with some of his ministers. Well, I was talking about Sadia Umar Farouk, who, of course, one of the Honorable Johnson Agbonaima, a federal commissioner at the Code of Conduct Bureau, who was also talking about the findings and inquiry. He expressed frustration at the perceived lack of action following the conclusive report. So there are usually reports carried out in some of these agencies. Unfortunately, nothing is carried on with this report. He underscored the urgent need to strengthen and empower the Bureau for a more robust fight against corruption. He emphasized that the Bureau's capacity to hold public officers accountable, asserted that scrutiny should extend to all, including President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And he's actually saying that it is important. For example, the humanitarian minister under former President Muhammadu Buhari was also investigated, and that money meant for Nigerians wasn't disbursed. The Code of Conduct Bureau actually did a wonderful job, but after writing the report, there was no follow through. Nobody followed through with what took place there. So that's basically one unfortunate instance that transpired in the course of the events with Sadia Umar Farouk and Betta Edu. Although she's trying to defend herself, we don't know how that would work. Now, let's not just end there. Let's go over to the G5 governors, specifically Otam. Otam, in a significant political declaration, the former Benue State Governor Samuel Otam announced that the G5 group within the People's Democratic Party will endorse President Bola Tinubu for re-election in the 2027 presidential race. This revelation was made today at a luncheon hosted by Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and former Governor of Rivers State, in Port Harcourt. The event, which witnessed a gathering of prominent political figures, saw Wike dressed in a black shirt and butter-colored jacket, flanked by Otam and fellow G5 member Ijeoma Egwuatu of Enugu. Now, the G5, a faction of 5 then governors from the PDP, had previously defied the party line by rejecting Atiku Abubakar as the party's presidential candidate before the 2023 polls. They chose instead to support the southern candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, addressing Wike's allies and other attenders, Otam expressed the group's satisfaction with their support for Tinubu in the previous election and declared their unwavering commitment to back him for a second term as Nigeria's president. I recall on several occasions, both on the world news and even right here on the political spotlight, along with my other analysts at the time, where we talked about the fact that at the end of the day, this particular administration is not even looking for the next, to see how the administration will run smoothly in the next 4 years. The administration is concerned about 2027. They're all concerned about how 2027 works and all the political machinations that they would employ, or strategical input that they would employ to ensure that they actually get 2027. The G5 governors are saying that they will definitely vote President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, as well as Kashim Shettima. Despite the speculation and the imbroglio that Shettima is involved with the entire Boko Haram scandal, that he's been one of the chief sponsors, you need to go in space, you need to go on X, you need to hear the criticisms. Nigerians are actually not happy. Sometimes it feels like no matter what the president does, these people will never find anything good with his administration. They will call him to naught. Well, that is one aspect we're considering, but there was something that Wike did today. We cannot go out without actually looking through into what transpired in Rivers State. Now, Wike used this opportunity to visit one of his friend, Victor, and he said his friend invited him and that he was so proud, and he advised his friend in his political career. And now that, according to him, party politics is good, but it's also good to maintain relationship, that at the end of the day, no matter what you do, you must remember that it will be important for people to try as much as possible to maintain relationships. That's what Wike is saying. Well, let's listen to him. But in the process, there was something Wike used. Wike actually he used the F word in Fubar. I mean, it was obvious, basically, whom he was referring to. I want us to listen to Nyesom Wike. Like I said, River State's drama would not stop now. Let's take a listen to him.
Chief Victor Gadam. I was to be here on the 1st of January this year, but because I was outside the country, and I called him, I'm sorry, I will come today, being the 6th of January, to come and see you and drink the normal palm wine we used to drink together in those days before he left me. Let nobody misinterpret what I came here today. That's why I came with PDP leaders. That's why I've seen APC leaders. If it was about politics, you wouldn't have seen PDP leaders with me here. So it is about private visit to my friend. And my friend is in normal way. Will he want to tell me, oh boy, I'm still on ground. I must invite my people to come out with you. So that is what you said that happened there today. And I appreciate you. And I have never been in doubt about your capacity to relate with your people. I have always known that. When I was chief of staff, people wanted to make you to be sanitation chairman. I called you. I said, Victor, don't take sanitation chairman. Go and be council chairman. So that you will relate with your people and see what it has paid off today. That's why you can speak to your people in the language they understand, and they will always answer you. When it's all about politics, if you cannot make impact. Politics is about impact. If you want to be a successful politician, you must impact on your people. Is it not correct? Correct. When you call your people will listen to you. Your people will answer you. Is it not true? It's true. Just this is a private visit, and Victor has called you. Come and receive my friend. Oh, he's coming. See what has happened there. Not where it is a political rally. Then what would I thank you. I know when you were Commissioner of Works what you did. In fact, when I was coming in here, I was telling Danobi, you know, road can make a community to be a city. I used to be here now. It's not better. I used to be here. It was not developed like this. Now it's a city. Whether I like it or not. I know you contributed immensely. Not just better within the Ogoni and the Gokana area. You know, I used to think so. I went to Lagos before I traveled. The chief of staff was having a party. I entered. If there were 300 people there, 270 want to snap picture with Wike. So I was not telling those I went with. What is going on? If it was in those days when I was in the world, a lot of things would have happened there. But because I'm no longer there, so I will just sit down, look. When the time comes, we'll know who is in charge or who is not in charge. I don't know whether you understand what I say. There's a time for everything. There's a time to plant. There's a time to harvest. We have no time for politics. There's no time for anybody to say, I'm for this, I'm for this, I'm for that. We have not reached that time. When the time will reach, we will know who is there, who. If he didn't dare, he didn't dare. If you like, abuse me as you want. If you like, employ everybody in social media. Let me tell you, I've never bothered myself one day to know who's abusing me, who's not abusing me. When I go to work, I feel satisfied. I go back home. I ask those my friends, do we have good whiskey? Is there any good champagne? Let's go boys, sit down. Let's enjoy our life. So politics will come. We did not contest election based on social media. We contested election talking to the people listening to us and believing in us. My dear people of Gokana, particularly the Bera people, I don't play politics because you're in this party, you're in the other party, and then you avoid friendship. No. Party will come and go. Friendship will remain. And hard about what? Reverse it. If you don't agree, I don't agree. If you don't give us what belongs to us, you don't go walk. Not be so. And that is what I've always preached. Whether Nigeria likes it or not, they must listen to the voice of River State. So nobody should be afraid. Nobody should be afraid. I have no regret when I stood by with my colleagues and friends that this is the period the presidency must go to the south. There was nothing I was not offered. I said no. Now that you have taken, let these other people take. And I have no regret. Turn by turn. I understand for it. I have no regret at all. And that's why I will continue to support the government of Aswaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Do you know this visit I tell you today that there's a lot of trouble? Some people will start visit now. Just watch what will happen for tomorrow. People will start visit now. Follow who know road, not so. Follow who know road. If he didn't there, he didn't there. I know sir, I know road now. You know sir, I know road. Chiefs, I know sir, I know road. Women, I know sir, I know road. The youth, I don't know road. What did they talk now? Fucking. Who them be? How many them they? Well, we're not going to win. Damn. Time will come. Don't worry, we have not started. Time will come.
One will always say that when it comes to Nyesom Wike speaking at any public gathering, he actually knows how to be funny. He has his own comical side. I'm sure you heard him say that when he went to the chief of staff, one of the parties with the chief of staff, that a lot of people were, congratulating him, wanted to take pictures with him, and that is because he always does good. Well, going back to what Samuel Otam said, he also said that our leader Nyesom Wike has made the declaration and that 2027 is for sure for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. According to Otam, he says, we have nowhere to go because that is what Nigerians believe. Even the past administration that took Nigeria from top to bottom, we allowed them to work for 8 years. So why can't a seasoned administrator in the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu rule for 8 years? He asked, assuring Nigerians that Tinubu will fix security, economy, and other critical areas of challenge to the citizens. Quite interesting. Like I said, there's a lot. We still need to expect a lot within this administration. We have just started. They said this 2024 is no grief for anybody, and I think the president too is also in the mantra of no grief for anybody. Well, going back to Beta Edu, based on how the situation with the alleged 585 million naira being asked by Beta Edu for the money to be transferred to her personal account, well, the federal government has responded, and you do know that a lot of Nigerians were asking, when will President Bola Ahmed Tinubu do something about this? We cannot allow such impunity, to continue. Well, it raised serious questions about the management of funds meant for the welfare of vulnerable population, and so the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, told an online publication on Saturday that the matter is under thorough investigation, appropriate action will be taken thereafter. But a lot of Nigerians feel that that's not going to be the case, that when it comes to any one of them, they don't take any proactive measure. But if it has to do with anyone who did not show support for the administration, anyone who is supposedly anti-APC, the kind of attitude, the drastic measures they will take will not be something to write home about. And they specifically refer to the former CBN governor, Gadune Emefiele, whom apparently people feel that the president has a personal vendetta against. I actually have on the telephone Mr. Darlington. Mr. Darlington, I'm sure you do know him. You've heard him in a lot of our programs here. He's a political and social affairs commentator. Let's hear his reaction to these issues that have been raised in the political spotlight. Mr. Darlington, good evening. Happy Sunday to you.
Yeah, Esther, how are you and good evening?
Good evening, thank you. Thank you for being on the political spotlight.
This thing is very low. I'm straining my ears to hear you.
You can't hear me? Why?
Hello?
I can hear you very well, Mr. Darlington. Why can't you hear me? Could it be the network?
Hello?
I can hear you, Mr. Darlington. Where are you?
Yes, I'm hearing you, but faintly.
Okay, let me try and call you back then, because I can hear you clearly. I don't know why you can hear me clearly. I don't know what the problem is, but I'll call you back. All right, while we're trying to establish connection with Mr. Darlington, I do hope that we're able to hear from him, because we actually had a conversation right on before we actually started off the program, but apparently it feels like there is something wrong with the network. In the process of us trying to establish that connection, let's see how we can, you can be part of the conversation as well. The number to send your WhatsApp messages is 0700 903 903 903. That is the number, 0700 903 9039, 0700 903 9039. Mr. Darlington, can you hear me very well now? Can you hear me appropriately now, Mr. Darlington?
Yeah, okay. Manageable. Let's go. Even though you ambush your head.
Okay. I think the network is officially very bad. All right, the number to send your messages to is 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to actually call, and the number to send your messages to is 0700 903 9039, 0700 903 9039. The network is poor. I don't know. I can't connect properly with Mr. Darlington because he cannot hear me. Now he called. I could actually not hear what he was trying to say. Now, unfortunately, when we consider how things it seems to go, sometimes we wonder at what point will we have the necessary governance, the kind of governance that Nigerians require, whereby we can have that seamless effort to create a certain sense of objectivity and transparency. On several occasions, when we consider a lot of situations and how they present themselves, we always pray that things will get better. We say things will definitely turn out fine. We say no matter the circumstances, Nigerians are hardworking, and at one point we'll get the leadership of our choice. Unfortunately, it doesn't turn out that way, and at the end of the day, it's all about the people and not the people who are in the management system of the country and not the resources that we have. And like I said, the better edu situation has elicited a lot of reactions from several quarters, and people are actually wondering what exactly is going on and how are we having this kind of impunity. Now, I was part of a space conversation on X, and they say that the beginning of this entire imbroglio is specifically what transpired during the campaign and the affirmation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Others keep on saying that when illegality is the bane, is the foundation of any institutional existence, then you begin to see what you call impunity crop up. You will see the brazenness of so many evil machinations take place. You'll see people who don't understand the essence of principles, and then you have them be the ones in charge or take order for the day. And it's disappointing, because you will think that if the president intends to run for 2027, the idea is to change the identity, change the perception that Nigerians have about you, or they have about your administration, so that they would support you in 2027. But the APC is very confident. They've literally said said that they would make sure that the opposition is obsolete. In fact, they actually asking the opposition to be serious for once. If they intend to be the voice of the people, they're not seeing them acting as such. Peter Obi has actually come out to say that they intend to be the voice, the primary source of the opposition. But a lot of critics feel that the Labour Party does not have the foundation to be that strong opponent. I don't know why. For one person that said so is Daniel Bwala. Daniel Bwala is of the opinion that for the Labour Party to thrive, for the Labour Party to have that essence, that's when I say usefulness, it has to go beyond social media. Asking Peter Obi to understand what grassroots mobilization is all about, and that's one of the tactics that the All Progressive Congress has always implemented. They always go through grassroots mobilization. They understand that politics is from the people. I'm sure you listened to Wike when he was talking, when he said that politics is not social media conversation. It's about having a one-on-one relationship with the people, and that's basically what the APC is doing. So Daniel Bwala is saying that for the Labour Party to be the voice of the people, they need to understand how politics play. They need to understand what the chessboard is. It is not about organizing space. It's not about tweeting on X, but it is about ensuring that the people who are tweeting are also on the streets and they understand you and they will do anything for you. But others feel that regardless of how much Peter Obi tries to create that sense of presence on the streets, that the APC would in any form fight it off. Anything they can do to buy it off, they'll buy it off. That's what a lot of complaints is on, specifically on what transpired during the 2023 presidential elections. They felt that the APC doesn't know what it is to be transparent and objective. They must always try to impute one or two illegalities in the process. That is the bane of the APC. These are not my words. These are the words of a lot of critics. These are the words of a lot of people who are not comfortable with this administration. But you may say that the presidency was quite reactionary with the better edu situation. I mean, the presidency coming out to say they're investigating the better edu money scandal, that the All Progressives Congress will not allow such impunity be carried on. We don't know. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how that moves on. Now, apparently, a particular chief judge, suddenly is finding his voice after a person say that the 2023 elections exposed a lot of things within the Nigerian judiciary, and that those who supported a lot of illegality are saying something different now. I don't know what they're saying that is different. Could it be that they're not benefiting as they thought that they would benefit? One of such instances is Asari Dokubo, who literally at this point in time is not happy with the president snubbing him because he thought that the president would try as much as possible to actually give him some contract to be on his side. Unfortunately, that did not take place. So again, it is quite important for us to look at these issues objectively as we can, regardless of our sentiments, regardless of whatever it is we feel towards the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But the truth is, where does it stop? Where do we find the end of all this? You saw what transpired in Rivers State, how the president came and interfered in the situation, despite the fact that the case was in court and they're adhering to the resolution that was signed. We're also seeing the whole better edu situation. We have the Plateau State killings, specifically, will I call it, I don't want to use certain words, but the Plateau State killings unprovoked sells a narrative that has been in the mind of a lot of Nigerians for a long time now. And the consistency and the brazenness, it tells us that these people keep on doing what they're doing and act like there is no government in power, or that the government is not strong enough to do anything so they can carry themselves along. Now, there have been cries and clamor for Nigerians to have access to arms. Ned Nwoko is one of such persons who has insisted that Nigerians should have access to arms, but there will be measures of control so people do not go out of place or go out of board when they own these arms. Because according to Ned Nwoko, if that bill is approved, he says that these bandits or these terrorists, when they realize that they're coming into a community and they know these people also have their own weapons, that they will think twice before coming to clear out. That the bandits are not supposed to own guns, brazenly attack people and get away with it, and no single arrest is carried out. While people who own the lands, people who toil and sweat, people who suffer are dying aimlessly, and the government seems to have a sense of almost like they're overwhelmed, or they don't know what to do, or like they don't know how to handle the situation. Then others are asking, what is the intelligence gathering of the federal government like? I mean, you have the Nigerian Navy, you have the Air Force, you have the military, you have the police. So it means that in this day and age where there's an internet age, there is forensic, there is data collection, you have DNAs, all of this helps with investigating most of these crimes. And if we're adopting technology in our system, that means information gathering shouldn't be so difficult. So how come we are not employing that aspect in gathering information? Or could it be that these informations are being gathered but nothing is done about them? Maybe they don't pay attention to it, because one of the victims said that the situation in Plateau State, there was a circulation before the attack, that they were informed about the attack before it happened, but the security mechanism or the security apparatus or the structure did not possibly take it serious, and that was when the attack came. So that's the imbroglio we're currently facing at the moment. But the question is, if you have an Wike in Rivers use the F word in Fubara and saying at some point we're going to see who is in charge, literally telling Fubara that you think you're in charge, you've been making comments lately, right? We're going to prove to you that I know those people, or rather Rivers State is my own. I am going to tell you that I am in charge. Well, let's see how that goes. So, Betta Edo is one that is in the front burner of the political spotlight today. We also have Omar Farouk, also the same department of humanitarian affairs and social development. We also have Salihu as well. These are women in our political space handling this sensitive position, and they seem to be embroiled in this financial mismanagement. We're waiting to see how the federal government will handle that. The theatrics and the drama in River State as well. The security situation in the country, what is the president's stance towards it? It's not a farmer header clash as we always assume most times when it happens. This is beyond that. This is literally beyond that. Others have called it ethnic cleansing. Others have referred to it as a form of genocide, and it's been going on. But the question is, how soon will the president put his feet to ensure that this no longer happens? Also in Osun State, there was also another attack. Apparently, they said Amotekun was overwhelmed by the invasion of these supposed bandits on some farmlands. That is appalling. So it's not just in the hinterlands these things are taking place. They're gradually coming to the city. I don't know if you recall Melavia Obadiah, one of the I think he was once in the military as well. Before he died, he made some revelations as to what these bandits or terrorists, all right, what their intention is. They start from the hinterlands, and then before you know, they begin to penetrate the urban areas. So it's very close. It's no longer things by saying it's in the village or it's in the rural area. They're already getting very close to the urban areas, and something needs to be done as soon as possible. Security should be paramount. The people should feel safe. I think it's very, very vital that should be one of the core priority of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. So if 585 million naira is one of the renewed hope agenda to help alleviate poverty and provide succor to the vulnerable, that is the poor of the very poor, how come it's been transferred to a private account of the minister? What is it doing in her private account? The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039, 0700 903 9039. You'll see the numbers on your screen. If you're watching us on YouTube at the moment, you'll see the numbers on your screen, 0700 903 9039, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 903 903. That is the number for you to be part of the conversation this evening. Hello, thank you for joining us. This is the Political Spotlight. How are you? Hello. Okay, we lost that call. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. I will take some of your WhatsApp messages now. And this is from Clement from Magbon Lagos. Good evening, Esther. Wike has forgotten that all power belongs to God, who can detail what will happen next. All this his boasting will end soon when God intervenes in the affairs of Nigeria. All right, thank you, Clement. Femi from London. Wike can continue to flex. Nigerians' eyes are now shined. Let's wait and see. It will be a shame if Riverians allow him to use them for peanuts. He should know that one day monkey go market no go return. Wike is a paper tiger. Wow. All right, I also have this. Nigerians know who is who, but chooses to receive or deceive themselves. All right, okay, let's see how it goes. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. So, hello. Please, when you call, turn down the audio of your radio. It's important so we can hear you. Otherwise, you'll be hearing the background noise, and I don't think that is proper. So when you call, just turn off the audio of your device completely. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. We seem to be having a network situation at the moment. I do hope that it doesn't continue, so that we can sustain the conversation. It's just I and you today. I tried to get across to Mr. Darlington. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Yes, somebody on YouTube is saying Obadiah was in the CBN. Thank you very much. Thank you for reminding me. I recall, yes, he was in the CBN when he gave that expose. I think on one of the radio stations as well here in Lagos, where he gave the expose he gave. And as soon as all that expose was given, we heard that Obadiah had passed on. And it seems that all he has said seems to be what is already unfolding. Emmanuel Obidima says criminals everywhere. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, my name is Peter Usifo. I'm speaking from Abanoje in Ikoto.
All right, Mr. Peter Usifo, how are you today?
Fine, thank you. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you. Please go ahead.
God bless you. Thank you. On what Wike just said today.
Yes.
I think it should be too quick of many Nigerians to go on analyzing on it. It's still trending. So let us just see maybe before the end of this week, before the end of Friday, we'll be able to know where we are going as far as that matter is concerned. Because it should be too quick for people to analyze on that now.
Why do you say it's too quick? It's obvious what he was talking about and whom he was referring to.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to give an analysis on that because it may be negative or positive. You understand? So I want to see the end of it before I now know what to say. Maybe later Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll be able to take my stand on that.
Okay.
It should be too quick.
All right.
To do that. Then
Okay.
Better Edu. Hello?
I'm listening.
Better Edu.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. And better in this case, I believe, in my own opinion, that many Nigerians are due to history, blackmailing, and of course sensational on that matter.
Really?
As far as the 585 million naira is concerned, she did the normal thing by writing a memo to the Accountant General, and the Accountant General again replied that memo, telling her the right thing to do.
Peter, are you listening to what you're saying? Are you listening to what you're saying?
Just a minute.
Wait, hold on. Let me correct something. Better Edu organized a press conference when she was asked how will these monies be disbursed to these vulnerable people, and she said it will be coming directly from the account of the CBN. I would not forget. She says that money will come directly from the account of the CBN to the accounts of these people. And she was asked, if these people are unbanked, they don't have NIN or they don't have BVN, how do you intend to do that? She said there is a process on ground to ensure that this money gets to the people. That this is the administration of Bola Tinubu and this is what he intends to do to provide succor. I remember adequately. So when you say that the Accountant General told her what to do, there is a protocol. This is public office. It's coming from the CBN. It's not supposed to go to anybody's private account. Why is it going to a private account?
Anyway, she made it open by writing that memo.
She didn't expect it to get, she didn't know it was going to come out. She didn't know. I'm not
saying that she's totally right. Listen to my analysis or my submission, we know that I'm not saying that she's totally right. On the 3 billion naira, she, the one that you are to an account, SERAP is on that. So let them finish that investigation before we can indict on that. But as far as 85 million naira is concerned, I'm not too sure. It to me is blackmailing, AC, and of course sensational by many Nigerians. That's what I see.
Okay, that's your submission. That's your submission, right?
Yes, that's my own personal submission for now.
All right.
If you listen to it carefully, the 3 billion naira, SERAP are taking that matter to us, or they are aware of it, and let us see the end of that investigation before we can quickly blame her. It's not up to 7 months in office that data
8 months in, yes.
Farouk's case is different. She sat under Buhari administration, and we know what happened between her and EFCC. You understand, when EFCC invited her, she refused the invitation. It was clear that EFCC first said that they waited for her between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. and she did not follow up. But again, EFCC was taken from the 2 sides of their mouth by saying that she wrote a letter and that she's sick. Now, I believe in my own opinion that if they investigate Farouk's case, she may be wrong. She may be very wrong, and that is, we are trying to, as you rightly said in your own opening analysis, that in fact you feel that women should be different from men, when it comes to public office. So we are trying to build another Alice Madlike in that session. As far as Buhari's case is concerned, that is coming to Farouk, Hadia Farouk. That one is clear. But for Betty Edu, for God's sake, many Nigerians are being hasty, sensational, and
thank you, Peter. Thank you. Peter sounds like he's a spokesperson for one political individual, somebody that is in office, but I like his angle. I like the fact that he's in between. He's trying to give better Edu benefit of the doubt and doesn't want to judge, doesn't want to do the whole media trial thing. Okay, thank you so much, Peter Osifo, for that. Hello. Please turn down the audio of your radio. Yes, good evening. What's your name and location, please? Yes. Hello. Yes, evening. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm calling from Madrid.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah. What Oyinsenike is saying, it's like it's too just. I see it as somebody who just wants to brag. But sometimes you look at it holistically, you discover he's on point to some extent.
Okay.
Truly, when you see the gathering of the people, you continue to wonder who are the youth that is really complaining of good governance. That the government is not giving a good governance. The government is giving a bad. The administration is bad. This and that. Who are the youth? Is it not the group of the same people gathering to hail Oyinsenike when he's talking, bragging on their faces? Is it not the same people shouting that the government is not good? I just see him brag. I'm not saying. Let those who are on social media truly come physically to register their displeasure, not on social media. You see, these people, they try to hypnotize people and subject them to unnecessary unpaid hardship. Instead of him to campaign for good government for His Excellency Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, he's talking of 2027. It is 2027 we're supposed to talk about good governance. So those people gathering all over the places, they gain from what he's saying. Maybe. And for the data LD case. Hello?
I'm listening, go ahead.
Yeah. So the data LD case, you said women, you were referring to women food. This is not women food. This is political, this is corruption endemic. When you are there, Esther, you discover that you are being turned away from what your philosophy, your ill feelings, your what you have before, your intention will be twisted around. That is how I find them. I see them that anytime you have good intention going into governance, when you get there, the situation will turn around and make you to understand that your belief is not what you are going to see and practicalize.
Okay.
The money we transfer, is it her money? It's not her money. Whatever, he's trying to defend the defensible. That is what I'm trying to see. These are political process in Nigeria. They try to defend the defensible. And the listeners are jumping from one side of their tongue to another tongue. The man that just called, what does he know about politics? Did he have any self-gain or have any relation with them? If he truly is getting from this political situation that is going on, he cannot call this radio. He'll be busy eating money. So if you slow down the road, that is not the way to defend. I know everybody has, you know who you support. Like me, I don't support any of them. I always talk about good governance. When you listen to me from time to time, when I call this radio station, this VAP, I talk about good governance. How people can gain. Yes, what people can gain and how people can gain, so that the mind and the feelings of the people will base down, and they will remember that Nigeria is a country for all of us. Equal distribution of food. That is what I always campaign for. I don't support PDP. I don't support APC. I don't support Labour Party. All of them are equal. Once you are in power, you have the advantage to yourself, you have the privilege to yourself, then you continue to move on like that until people cry and cry and cry and cry. I pray we should not cry again this 2024.
All right, thank you. So thank you so much for calling. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Let me take some of your WhatsApp messages. Okay. Chinamar from Agbara says, Wike is lying when he said he doesn't want to know who is criticizing him. He knows that he has lost ground politically. He is a typical Nigerian selfish politician who is thinking that people will remain ignorant forever. When the time comes, Wike will know how many people will be with him. Wike didn't know that campaign time has not come. All right, Chimera, thank you for that message. Wike's arrogance can never be hidden under his humorous, deceitful way of public speech, because being an orator doesn't stop wise people from reading in between the lines of people like Wike's kind of wicked thoughts. And I assure you, Wike may not even see. Wow. Okay. Imagine this set of wicked human beings in government planning for 2027 when people are crying and dying in 2024. Odogu from Abaranja, Lagos. All right, Odogu, that was quite intense. Evening, Esther. Can you compare Israel government and army and Nigerian government and army? Israel government promised to eradicate Hamas, and their armies are doing that day and night. You can see zeal and dedication. The data and statistics is there. They didn't mix their work with politics, doing eye service and propaganda and hypocrisy with their citizens' lives, unlike what we have here. The president and their ceremonial service chiefs are given schoolboy excuses in a situation that security operatives have been turned to politicians giving excuses. Nothing will work. The terrain that they say they cannot enter, politicians went there to sympathize with the people. Who are they fooling for? This government. Blessed are those who do not expect, for they shall not be disappointed. It's a shame the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. Dyer from Fagba. Wow, Dyer, that was intense, but I see the strong reason you gave here. You're actually telling us that they have mixed politics with their supposed responsibilities, and that chiefs, army chiefs, and those who are in the security are politicizing the security situation in the country. Like I said, I want to see how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will do the needful when it comes to ensuring that he provides security to the utmost capability of his administration. Otherwise, I don't know what it will be like before his administration expires. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
This is Anasike from Chile.
All right, Anasike, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Please, I don't have much to say. This Wike issue. Wike is nobody. I'm seeing. I don't think, but I don't know why our youth now. That because of 1 naira or 2 naira, somebody will come and brag, and people will be clapping for them, clapping for that person. You understand? I don't know, because somebody said the other day we don't have youth, and we don't have youth again because of 1 naira or 2 naira. That will make you look at what Wike is saying in River State, and youth are clapping for him. Which Wike, it's not because of they make you chairman of one park in Port Harcourt. from there, Jonathan and his wife bring him up. Who knows Wike before? He said he read law, he did not practice law.
Thank you.
He did not practice law. He was the chairman of this thing. So I don't know why our youth are doing like this. And for the first caller, the first man that called,
that's Peter.
His pattern.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Peter.
Yes,
Mr.
Peter.
That's the guy in pattern. Either he's speaking for something in APC. Whenever he calls, he always, I don't know, let me not use any foul word or whatever. Because if I would say he always biased.
Well, he says it's his own opinion, so he's entitled to what he thinks.
Yeah,
like
no, that's why I said that. Yes, I am. I do. That's why I said. You heard what I said before.
Yes.
So let's put it like. But this Wike issue, I don't like the way you put it because Wike is nobody.
You say you don't like the way we're presenting. How are we presenting it? It's what he said now. He went for an event earlier today, to visit his friend Victor, and then he used the opportunity to address the people there. So how are we presenting? I just played you what he said. That's all. You know, he used the F word on Fubar, and he said a lot of things.
The youth of River State, you know, it's not River State I used to know because I grew up in River State. Very close to Wike. They are this thing, and I told you about there. I grew up there for over black time. So I know him. So I don't know why people are looking at him as if he's somebody. Because Jonathan and his wife, who will know Wike? So please, my sister, let me not go too far. Because all this is getting me annoyed. Anytime they say something about this country, I'm always good night.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. Hello. 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 I can't hear you. Hello. Can you hear me? Alright, 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 9039. Hello, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you loud and clear, Esther. How are you?
I'm fine. Evening. Happy New Year to you. Name and location, please.
Yeah, I wish you all the best. My name is I'm calling from the United States of America.
Alright, hello. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to chip in some things about the issue of Better Edu. I don't know if I got her name correct.
Yes, you got her name correct.
It's not surprising. This can only happen in our country. When you have the kind of election we had last year, and you have the beneficiaries, of course, when they want to appoint people like their ministers and aides, guess the kind of people they will appoint. Your guess is as good as mine. They would like to kind of appreciate people who help them in those illegalities. That is why you have the personalities like a Wike. So this lady we are talking about right now, if it is in a sane society, she should have resigned her position.
Exactly.
How can someone transfer a huge amount of money, a little bit above the 500 billion naira we're talking about here? Is it 500 million? 508 million, right?
Yes.
To a private account. And we are still discussing it on the television and the radio and everywhere, and the lady is sitting tight. Trust me, at the end of the day, no matter what investigation is it today that we'll be seeing investigation in Nigeria, nothing will happen, and she knows very well that nothing will happen. That's it. Mark my word, nothing will happen. Before 1 week, 2 weeks time, then we'll be talking about a different issue, because Nigeria is just a crime scene.
It's quite unfortunate, to be honest with you.
It's a crime scene. Something else will come up by next week. Nobody will even remember about this, and that will be the end of it. That lady will stay there until 2027. Nothing will happen. That is Nigeria for you.
You know that I thought that the president would try to do something with his administration, prove to us, regardless of the controversy that he was immersed in, concerning the legality of his certification, concerning if he actually won the elections or not. But I thought that he would kick the ground running and set a different narrative, within his administration, start from his people. I think that the story would have been different. Nobody would remember how he came on board or whether his certificate was legal or not. That's what I'm expecting, because like you rightly said, we're not supposed to be having this conversation. And if not for public outcry, we wouldn't have had the presidency say investigations are already on. We wouldn't just hear. It was Bayo Onanuga just responded and say the matter is being investigated and that's it, just like that. The matter is being investigated.
They know us very well. That they always tell us what we needs to know or what we wants to hear. That's it. They will just tell you investigation. Is it today that they'll be doing investigation? Trust me, nothing will happen. Before this lady did this, she knows very well that nothing will come out of it.
All right. Okay. Thank you for calling. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Esther. Yes. Have a good one.
You too. 0700 903 903 903. Hello. 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 Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Kindly turn down the audio of your radio, please. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Ken.
Ken. Location, please.
Yeah. Calling from Lekki.
Wow, Ken, thank you. Wow, this is nice. We hardly get lucky people, so go on.
So first of all, I actually saw the heading. I'm actually watching you through YouTube.
Okay. So
I actually saw the heading, Nigerian Chief Justice suddenly finds his words after legalizing forgery.
Yes.
I as a radio station, I don't want to find that. I find it hard to believe that you're actually propagating this falsehood after the court of the land. After the court of the land actually affirmed.
Hello. All right. Please, I would like you to call back 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, 0700 903 903 903, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039 0700 903 9039. That is the WhatsApp number to actually send your messages to, 0700 903 9039. We're currently streaming live on YouTube, so you can actually send in your comments there and be part of the conversation virtually. That is basically what it is. Now, I recall, if you remember, Olisa Agbakoba at some point, he talked about the Supreme Court. He talked about the Nigerian judicial system, and he said it was the worst ever. Now, Olisa Agbakoba had said before, prior to the time, he has actually said that lawyers shouldn't be putting their voices or airing their own, their own perception to the tribunal case that was ongoing at the time before the Supreme Court affirmed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Olisa Agbakoba was one of the persons that said legal practitioners should not talk about it because the case was still being tried, because the tribunal was still trying the matter. After the Supreme Court gave its ruling, and based on the ruling that the Supreme Court gave, a lot of legal practitioners looked at the imprint, they looked at what the Supreme Court ruled on, and they questioned on what ground they couldn't justify some of the things that were used to supposedly affirm President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A lot of legal practitioners felt that due diligence was not done in the cause of justice. Now, this formed the comprehensive analysis of Olisa Agbakoba in the presence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and in that instance, he also made reference to the fact that with the cases so far and the conclusions given by the Supreme Court, he said it was the worst ever. He made reference to the Supreme Court's ruling on Nnamdi Kanu, referring Nnamdi Kanu to go back to the lower court and advised Nnamdi Kanu's counsel to write against the federal government. Now, we do know that the Supreme Court had the right to actually say, okay, Nnamdi Kanu, we're granting you bail because you already chastised the federal government for the way Nnamdi Kanu was repatriated. You said the federal government should stay true to the laws. That was one of the advice the Supreme Court gave. But you could have actually said, okay, the federal government did wrong, and due to this, you'll be granted bail and possibly come from your home and attend your trial case. But you didn't do that. That means possibly, maybe there was an inducement somewhere. So that also created that distrust in the Nigerian legal system. Why is this so? I recall one of the judges who was retiring as well. He made a public statement. In fact, it was a huge speech that he did, where he talked about the Supreme Court, talked about the Nigerian judicial system and how low the judicial system has gone. It was a huge deal at the time. I remember one of the Supreme Court justices during his retirement. He was also one of the persons that was meant to be part of the judges at the Supreme Court at the time on October 26th, but because he was retiring, he wasn't part of the committee that decided the case of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So yes, if you join us on YouTube, basically that is the reference. At some point, there's the Nigerian judiciary also knew that there was a lot of loopholes in the judgment that was made, and maybe that is what is affecting the current state of things and the trends we're seeing emanating from there. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. All right, I would implore you to also call, send messages on our WhatsApp, and of course I would implore you to send your messages on our YouTube channel. Okay, evening Esther. There is a saying, when a person of a thing is not known, abuse or misuse is inevitable. Also, he that must come with equity must come with clean hands. When your president has certificate issues and the judiciary that ought to checkmate it turn their face to bad behavior. Also, ministers without certificate were nominated and they passed screening of the Senate. Even many of the senators has this issue. The result is a nightmare Nigerians are facing. People who cannot come for debate, no interview, questionable characters that are passing bad characters to our children. That is to say, if you forge certificate or you don't have certificate, you can enter power through fraudulent means. It's a shame. The worst of us is ruling the best of us. Same Dyer from Fagba. All right, thank you, Dyer. Okay, this is to show you that this ABC government is not thinking good about the people. Wike is talking about 2027. It's a shame our youth have been compromised, clapping for impunity. Then how do we take back this country? That's Peter is APC. That has been his style of talk. Okay, so I didn't understand this. Please resend your message so I can comprehend what you intend to tell us. Hello. Yeah. Evening, how are you, please? Name and location.
I'm calling from Ikorodu.
All right, what's your name?
Yeah, what I want to say about the government, about this Tinubu tenure.
Okay.
Because even for the country is so tired for the president, because everything is false, everything is good. But I just look back, I know that it's going to better.
All right. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I know that it's going to better. They just did this 2024 that is going to be here. So the man is going to try. So let's just look back.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for calling. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. We're currently streaming live on YouTube. It's Voice of the People 90.3 FM. That is VOP 90.3, and the conversation is virtual, so you can send your comments. Let me start reading some messages right here. Long life Tina. Wike, if you believed in turn by turn, why did you agree to come as governor of River State after Amici has been governor for 8 years? All right, Irene Jude. Honestly, it's disgusting listening to Wike. What a shame. What a nation. It can only happen in Nigeria, and people are clapping and praising him. Well, I wish you guys well. Emmanuel Obidimma says, criminals everywhere. It is time to give disabled people chance since women have failed us. John Obadiah. Okay, thank you, John. Yeah, that was your correction, telling me Obadiah was in the CBN. Okay, Udo Olisa Franklin. This guy, Peter, again, the ACP spokesman. Udo Olisa Franklin. Okay, nobleman, shame on you, so-called Peter Osifo. Oh, Peter has a right to his opinion, please. Chidi Otogo, anyone hoping for a better Nigeria, he or she will continue hoping till eternity. The Union Code Nigeria is just a mirage. All right, we do hope that things will work. We do this of Franklin. Oh, thanks to heaven that. Okay, please, when you send your messages, I implore you to be quite civil with your comments. I would really do appreciate it. We would not appreciate any form of slander. We just need to talk on facts. I think that's what is particularly important. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. Name and location, please.
This is Olayemi from Legality.
All right, Olayemi from Gondo. Please go ahead, Olayemi.
These people, this APC of a party, before it's too late, they always resign. They have nothing to offer this country. They have nothing. They have propaganda. Nigeria has not been balanced before, but their own is worse. Right?
Hello? All right, we've lost that connection. Please, I would like you to call back. I really want to hear what you have to say, please. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Name and location, please.
Good evening. CY from Elasa Maja.
All right, CY, go ahead, please.
Yes. Our President Tinubu have already told us that whether if we like it or not, we should go strike for many years, that nothing will happen. And that he didn't win election, but many people vote for him. So many people vote for him. So what Nigeria is doing, we are just beating here and here and here and here. Nigeria supposed to be serious for themselves, because they have already told us that we enter one chance. We are on one chance. And Wike is now making noise here and here and here and here when the election is never reached. It's now talking this and this and this. So that's what I want to contribute.
All right, thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number. I want to reiterate again. I recall when the whole situation with our judicial system became a public outcry. I recall before the Supreme Court gave its ruling, before the tribunal gave its ruling, there was the whole all eyes on the judiciary. And the reason why that came was because Nigerians no longer trusted the judicial system, and they wanted to ensure that this election, because of the high participation from all and sundry, they respected that due diligence needed to be done so that the voice or the choice of the people is basically what reflects in the judgment of the tribunal. And that was unfortunate. Apparently, a lot of people were not happy with the outcome of the tribunal, and a lot of people were happy with the outcome of the tribunal because, whether you like it or not, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was voted for and he won. Right? He won. Now, in reaction to all the criticism coming from several sectors on the judicial system and the NJC, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukaide Ariwola, said that public sentiment and emotions cannot replace the law. So in defense to all the criticism coming from several quarters on our judicial system, he referred to it as public sentiments. Literally called it public sentiment, and that it will not replace the law. No matter how emotional Nigerians are on how the judges make their ruling, it has to stick with facts. That's basically what Ariwola said. He says the law remains the law, no matter whose interest is involved. In all we do as interpreters of the law, we should endeavor to sever the strings of emotion from logic and assumption from facts. That's it. That's what he said. So, but everyone expected that when it comes to the law, beyond technicality and morality, I think morality should take more, in terms of the weighing, should take more than technicality. But a lot of Nigerians, specifically even our legal practitioners, said the judgment that came from the tribunal and the Supreme Court were more technical. And even the technicality there were a lot of, lacunas within it based on the explanations. And I know that we had that conversation on this platform, on previous editions of the Political Spotlight, even our news. Well, we do know that after the elections in 2023, the presidential candidates of the opposition parties were highly criticized on how they went about gathering support and the kind of supposed negative statements they made towards the judges, towards the judicial sector, and to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. After the Supreme Court gave its affirmation, then the tone changed. Of course, the president has been affirmed, so all of that was no longer important. So Nigerians are like, let's see how the administration go. Possibly, maybe the negative statements and the criticisms, well, the outcome may not be as bad as we think. How do you expect Nigerians to feel with what is currently ongoing and the government's reaction to a lot of things? It's just a question. So if we call in sometimes and we hear people emotionally talk based on what they have seen, based on personal experiences, sometimes we say they're going overboard. But wouldn't you say that the circumstances already at play is what has Hello, welcome to the political spotlight. Hello. Your voice is very low, very, very low. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name, please? Location. Are you using an earpiece?
No.
You sound like you're far from your phone.
No, this is because of my career.
Go ahead. What's your name?
My name is Mara, calling from
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
I think you should call back. Please call back. Call back. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. I'm Uche from Lagos. Wike's comment on 2027 shows Nigeria is very far from democracy. How can you talk about 2027 when the present administration is less than okay? There are no plans to improve on the worsening economic condition, but immediately planning for 2027. Those in power are just there for themselves, not for the people. All right. Good evening, Esther. Happy weekend and New Year. Please kindly reiterate. Okay. Kindly resend the message. I don't understand what you said. Reiterate on your updates concerning the CJN, and which I didn't catch well while you were saying. Okay, can you clearly, legibly write? I'm sorry, so that I can understand what you want me to do. Please, I sincerely apologize. The judiciary has become part of the executive. It is a shame. The judiciary has lost its integrity. Why did they use technicalities to interpret the law? We have criminals governing all over the place. Cyril, you didn't tell me your surname. All right. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. Some messages on YouTube says, okay. And Richard, Esther, I can hear you clearly. Keep the mic on. All right, thank you. With all friendly, please, Esther, my dear, stop saying that Chicago Bobo won. What do you want me to say now? The Supreme Court affirmed him. He won. I don't know what else you want me to say. He won the elections. I mean, it's practical. It's is that not it? Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes. Welcome to the political spotlight. What's your name?
My name is Akin Bakare, calling from Ekoku. This issue of Nigeria will be better in 2027. We are in 2024. They are talking about 2024 or 2027. That means they want people to create themselves. You know when.
Where are you? That place is so noisy. That place is noisy. I'm so sorry. Please. Apologies. Please call back. Just go to somewhere a little bit quiet, okay? That place is really noisy. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 903 Remy is calling on WhatsApp. Remy, why are you calling on WhatsApp? Hello? Happy New Year.
Don't have the right to
call. You're supposed to send your messages there, no call. Okay, go ahead.
Seriously?
Yes, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Okay. How are you doing?
I am fine. Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you.
Few minutes ago, I just saw in a report whereby a PDP chieftain in River State was reporting what happened during the election.
Okay.
And why they are supporting Fubara.
Okay.
According to him, he said a certain party won the election in River State, but they wrote result for PDP. So it is Fubara's turn. They are supporting Fubara as against BK.
Okay.
For those who are supporting BK and clapping for him,
right,
I tend to wonder you guys are supporting impunity. Wike is no more the governor. And all he's trying to do is to be a governor for the third time by proxy.
Okay.
Them saying it was Wike that brought him, so he should be benevolent to Wike. Someone brought Wike into power as well too. Amechi. What was their relationship like? We also saw what Wike did to Amechi. I'm not supporting Amechi, but we saw what Wike did to Amechi. So this is like karma. If I'm to say, I have no dog in this fight.
Okay.
But it's like karma. So Wike should just go and rest and face his Abuja and let Wike run his admin.
Okay.
That's on one side.
All right.
My fear from, as in, okay, we also what happened in the last election. We all saw how factual the case of forgery in terms of certificates across board were. Our president claimed to have attended a particular school, of which the school was established 4 years after he graduated. That is a fact. It's not my opinion. And these are people presiding over a case of universities across Africa. We have certificate forger suspending schools for the same reason. As in, don't think that's kind of a joke on us.
It's ironical, but a couple of critics have said that a reaction to that, it's not the president, it's the Ministry of Education that reacted. So it's the Ministry of Education that is taking decisive action against that. It's not from the president.
But that doesn't still change the fact that both our city president and some governors across the country forged their certificates at one point. This is not my opinion, it is a fact.
Yes, it is.
So where do we go from here as a country? Because Supreme Court affirmed
President Bola
his election despite those facts before them.
Well,
so
to
even
them,
the
they did not present
justice,
those documents at the tribunal, so they couldn't do anything about it.
you said what?
According to the Supreme Court, they asked Atiku Abubakar why he did not present that at the tribunal, and that they got 2 different notifications from CSU. So that was basically
what's the meaning of the position? It's a legal document. And the excuse they gave was, they said they've taken new evidences in the past before, but in this case they won't be taking any new evidence. They never said what they brought wasn't the right evidence to prove the case. But this time around, though, they won't be taking a new evidence, which set a new precedence. Whereby by tomorrow someone can make reference to that the Supreme Court, this is so and so. It stands as a precedence. There's nothing you and I can do.
I get you.
So it's as it is now. 2 processes that ought to give trust to the people. One, the electoral process, and the justice system. Going by what happened in the last election, gave us a level of huge distrust. We saw INEC reneged in their promises, and they were not penalized. They were not punished by the justice system.
It was only one court that actually, cautioned INEC.
You can imagine.
Said,
and they frustrated the opposition in getting electoral documents from them. They frustrated them even when they released results to ILP. They were blurry documents. Over 18,000 documents.
Remy, you've spoken for almost 5 minutes. Thank you.
Right, thank you
so much. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. We need to wrap up the conversation. Honestly, I know it can get like this. Let's just say that emotions are high. It's 2024. I know the theme is no grief for anybody, but we must try as much as possible to stay true to ourselves. And on the political spotlight, on all the programs on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, we will continue to bring this issue to the front burner and ensure and ensure that, you know, it's talked about. The more we talk about these issues, the more the right thing is done, and the right persons who need to do something about it will do something about it. The job of the media is to bring these issues in the front burner, get to hear from you, and hopefully they are listening. You know, sometimes whether they like it or not, they have to react. Just like the Better Edu situation, when Nigerians are calling for something to be done as soon as possible, they're even asking for Better Edu to be suspended. As you can see, Bayo Onanuga has responded, and he said that the matter has been investigated. Others feel that that is not strong enough, you know, in order for discipline to be evident. But let's see how it goes. My name is Esther Wachuku. The political spotlight will be repeated tomorrow, Monday, from precisely 1 to almost 3 p.m. or 1 to 2:30. So if you're not part of the conversation, you can be part of it tomorrow at 1 p.m. That is January 8th, Monday, January 8th. All right. Follow me on YouTube, Estic Media on YouTube, on Instagram, Esther Uwas, Facebook, Esther Wachuku, and on X, Estic Media on YouTube. All right. Don't have yourself a wonderful evening. Bye for now.